If you're looking to come to Thailand, this video will save you money. I'll go through all the different shops throughout Thailand if you want to buy like supermarket goods, clothes, pretty much everything you can possibly want in Thailand. And especially if you're kitting out a house over here. We'll go through all the prices and the best places to get the best value. I've done this myself. I've been living over here a long time and, you know, wasted a lot of money. And this video is going to help you and save you some money. Stick around to the end of the video and I'll tell you something that I brought very recently that was very good value, guys. I think the best value supermarket in the whole of Thailand, if you're looking for food, as a general rule of thumb, is Big C. These are all over Thailand, guys, and you can pretty much get all your standard kind of goods, you know, fruit and vegetables, meat. It's a basic supermarket with all your basic supplies. And they're all at great value. They have bread there. They have everything you pretty much want. They also have clothes there. They have shoes for kids, shoes for adults. It's pretty much just a massive supermarket like Asda in the UK or in America. So this is what I would call your go-to supermarket for regular kind of foods. Now, is it the cheapest for some things? No. But as a general rule of thumb for everything, it's cheap. If you want to just go to one store, I would go to there. Fruit and vegetables, I would say, are not the best in there. If you really want good, fresh fruits and vegetables, you need to go to the local markets. They're the cheapest value at all the local markets around Thailand. You won't get them cheaper anywhere else. If you want Western goods in Thailand, there's a place called Villa Market. This sells a lot of imported goods. Is it as cheap as Big C? No. But they have a lot of Western goods in there and you can get some of your comforts from back home, like Cadbury's chocolate and Bisto gravy and Bird's custard powder and baked beans if you're from the UK. Things like this that are quite appealing to, because I'm from the UK, they're quite appealing to guys coming over here. Now, do I go there regularly shopping? No, I just go there for special occasions where I want a little bit of this, because it's a little bit more expensive. I know there's definitely 3 in Hua Hin. And I think there must be 1 or 2 in Pattaya. I can't say I've ever been the ones in Pattaya. Put it in the comments if they're in Pattaya, guys. The next one is Macro. Right, they have a Macro where I live in Samut Songkhram, Bangkok. These are all around the country, in Hua Hin, in Pattaya. These are everywhere. I think these are good value for meats. I go and get my meat from Macro sometimes because the meat, I think, in there is really cheap. And everything's more bulk. You can really bulk buy in there and it's really good value. You don't need a Macro card. Like some people keep asking me, do I need a Macro card to go in Macro in Thailand? No, you can just go in there and buy stuff. No one's ever asked me for a Macro card. I've been going in there for years. They do good bread in there. There's like an on-site bakery in there. In most of them, the ones I've been into, they have this. In Big C too, they have this too. So they do get fresh bread in there because the bread is pretty ordinary in a lot of places around Thailand. It can be not that good, if I'm honest. And Macro is actually a good addition for me. I quite often get my bread from there. It's good. In Big C too, they have an on-site bakery in there and you can get better bread in there now, guys. Just do us a massive favor, guys. I don't ask a lot. Just please subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel out. It helps push to people like yourselves. Press that red button. And back to the video, guys. Thanks very much. Foodland is another one around Thailand. I don't go in there that often. They sell just a regular supermarket. Good value in there too. And Top Supermarket is another one, which I have been in over the years, but it's not one I go in regularly. They're normally a little bit smaller stores, as in Big C is like a massive superstore. Tops are usually a bit smaller, but 1 or 2 in Bangkok are actually really big, thinking about it now. Gourmet Tops, and it's in Siam Paragon. I'm 99% sure it's in that mall there. So you go check it out in that mall if you live in that area. But not everyone lives in that area. That's like a very specialized supermarket because it's a very, very Western area there. There's a lot of local kind of delis. There's a lot of delis where you can get meats and stuff. I get my meat from Macro. I think it's pretty good and great value. But if you want something specialized kind of meat, then yeah, you got these little delis around, especially around Bangkok, in Hua Hin, in Pattaya. They really have these everywhere. And they have specialized bakeries now opening up. So yeah, bread options are a lot better and bakery options are a lot better around certain places around Thailand. Now, if you live out in the sticks, a lot of these places won't be accessible to you. You will have to drive quite a long time to get somewhere, you know. For example, my missus, where she comes from, we have to drive, you won't believe this, but we have to drive 40 minutes to get to the nearest 7-Eleven. Drive 40 minutes to get there, 40 minutes to get back. That's how remote her place is. So if you're living remote, you have to think about this. And that's just the nearest 7-Eleven, never mind a supermarket. So yeah, it's something to think about when you're retiring in Thailand. You know, what area and what you know, shops are around that area. If you're after some kind of clothes, I think the best ones are in Bangkok. You know, there's some great upper market like Central Mall Group, which is actually throughout Thailand, not just Bangkok. They're throughout Thailand and they're pretty good for clothes. They're not the cheapest, I'll be honest. You know, they're a little bit more upmarket, but maybe better quality. Moving on to houses and, you know, like kitting out a house or, you know, stuff for your garden if you got a home over here. I think personally the best place to do this is in HomePro. I think that's one of the cheapest and the best places to get all stuff for your house. Now, I have actually kitted out 3 houses in Thailand, so I kind of know. We kitted out one house using Index Living Mile. Now, I think the quality is really good, so the price is a bit higher. I think you're paying for, you know, a bit more of a brand, a bit better quality, and the stuff in there has lasted pretty well, to be honest, to be fair. But it cost a lot more money. But if you're after something not bad, you know, not bad kind of good value, it's a good product as well. I think HomePro, you can't go wrong. And that's for like, you know, mattresses, beds, cupboards, you know, all your garden furniture outside, like, you know, sunbed or whatever you want, hammocks or, you know, all this kind of stuff for your garden as well, guys. HomePro's your best bet. Another good one around my area actually is Global House. That's really good. And the good value in there as well. It's not too expensive. And that's just really all household goods. That's really, really good for your house. Global House. I don't know if that's an international brand. I don't know. But it's actually not bad value. And there's one literally down our road. So it's really good for us, to be honest. They have a HomePro and Global House. And I use both of them. They're pretty good for all outside gear. I mean, even like they got chainsaws and, you know, generators and just pretty much everything like outdoor for your lawnmowers and, you know, everything for outdoor and indoor. And they've got stuff for fixing your house as well. You know, drains and all different tools and, you know, just pretty much everything like that. Another really cheapo option is Mr. DIY. That's a new one that's come up over the last 5 or 10 years, I think. I'm not sure. Have you got one in your area? Mr. DIY. I've seen them popping up all over the shop. And they're like a little store and they sell all like stuff for your house, like things for fixing your house and bits and bobs. I think that's like Mr. DIY, the, you know, stuff to fix your house. I think that's a good little store and it's really cheap, so good value. So if there's one of them near your area, that's a good one to check out. With regard to the clothing and shoes, you know, there's like around Bangkok, there's a lot. There's like Terminal 21, MBK, Platinum Mall. You know, there's clothes in there and they have, you know, Western sizes. That's what's good about the ones in Bangkok, actually. You know, affordable clothing and especially for, you know, the bigger size. They have international, like, outlets there. I think there's a Nike factory outlet there. So this is in Bangkok. There's some of this. So if you're after some kind of different size clothing, because that's what some of you guys might have a problem with if you come to Thailand. You know, the size, especially if you've got big feet or, you know, you're just a big guy, you know, it's really hard to buy clothes that fit sometimes because Thai people are really small. And if you're 6'5", you're going to have problems with shoes and clothes for sure over in Thailand. You'll have to go to specialist stores and pay a lot more money. But maybe you have to do that in your own country anyway, guys. Medical supplies. I mean, there's an expensive one like Boots, you know. This is like an international brand. So, you know, it's a very trusted brand, Boots. But, you know, if you want something a little bit cheaper, I think Watsons is very good as well. That's how you pronounce it in Thai. Watson, or something like that. But Watsons, it's called. But in Thai, I always laugh because my missus says, Watson. It's like really quick. So that's a good one for all similar stuff to Boots, but a little bit cheaper if I'm honest. So I always go to Watsons if you get that. But I mean, you can get a lot of that stuff now from Big C. you know, you can get a lot of that in Big C superstore. So, you know, you don't really have to go to these little stores anymore. Same as in, you know, the UK or in America, everyone goes to a big store to get everything. I mean, it is similar in Thailand, you know, it's going that way where, you know, a lot of people do go to these bigger stores to get everything because it's just easier. You can park there, and then it's all aircon, especially because it's hot in Thailand. Walking from store to store is not that much fun sometimes when you're outdoors. So going to these big malls is actually a bit more appealing. Electronics and appliances, so stuff like Power Buy, that's a good one where you can get electronic stuff from. Banana IT is another one. And obviously Big C you can as well. You can get from them 3 places. You know, in our local Big C here, they have a Banana IT next to in Big C. So it's like a separate shop within Big C. And Power Buy is another one there. You know, some good ones for electronics, you know, phones, laptops, you know, all the electronic items that you want. Fridges and aircon, you can get from Big C. We bought from Big C, we bought from Index Living Mall. We brought from Home Pro, I think, once. They sell in there too. Yeah, so a lot of different places we've sold. We brought aircon from. If you're going to get an aircon, get one with an inverter and get Mitsubishi. They're the best ones in Thailand. Either Mitsubishi or Panasonic are like the 2 best brands for aircon in Thailand. No one will tell you that. My missus told me. It's common knowledge around Thailand. But the most expensive, but they are the best. So yeah, so most of our aircons in our houses now, they've got inverters and Mitsubishi, which is good and bad because they cost a lot of money to buy, but hopefully they're going to last a lifetime. I hope. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but they've got a good reputation. A lot of people are buying stuff online these days. You know, a lot of people in Thailand buy stuff on Shopee, which is a really popular one in Thailand. And also Lazada, a lot of people using that in Thailand as well for shopping online. There's some very famous markets around Bangkok, like Chatuchak Market, which is very, very famous. It's a great one to check out. But they have these type of markets all over Thailand, just in a kind of smaller way. But Chatuchak's like probably one of the best and cheapest ones you can go to around Bangkok, and probably the most famous. They do sell some crazy stuff there, so it's good fun to go and have a look around there. But there's some other really famous ones, especially at the weekend, that open up around Thailand. So let us know in the comments what stuff you brought in Thailand and which shop do you go to or have been to, guys, in Thailand. You know, I mean, I go to these ones, but maybe there's some I've missed. And there's one now I've just remembered, IKEA. IKEA's in round Bang Yai too, near Central Westgate. So yeah, there's 2 actually IKEAs that I know of around Bangkok. So, you know, I know some people like to go to IKEA. I don't really go there, but I know some people like to shop there. That was one I'd just forgotten actually, guys. All right, just put it in the comments. What shop you like to shop in? What have you brought over in Thailand? Was it good value? Did you get ripped off? Now, I told you at the start of the video, those of you who waited right to the end, you lucky buggers, I told you I brought something amazing. And I did. Recently, I brought from Home Pro, we bought a garden shed, guys. And it was this price. I'll put it on the screen now, how much it cost us. It was great value, guys. And yeah, we're really happy with our shed. And now I've got somewhere where I can hide away from my wife. All right, guys, take it easy, and I'll see you on the next video.